Alrighty, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? So today I'm going to be giving you guys my 10 weeks out prep vlog. So we're looking at last check-ins on September 3rd to yesterday's check-ins on September 9th. So first off, we're going to look at the front relaxed. Not much visible difference here from what I can see. Do think maybe I just look a little bit fuller. I did bump my GH slightly this last week. But yeah, maybe a little bit fuller. Not quite as dry here, but it's all in the name of the game. We keep dieting down. I've been trending down approximately, on average, a pound a week over the last couple of months. And I think it's been like 2.5 months now. Look at our quarter turn here. Yeah, just a little bit drier this last check-in. I think that's just from, I increased my GH from 10 to 15 IUs, and I saw my weight climb a pretty good amount. Aww. Okay. Where's the other one? Ah, here. And let's look at front double. Yeah, I'm pretty much just seeing the same thing across the board. Just slightly less dry, a little bit fuller, which does reflect what happened with my weight. Again, like I said before, it jumped up a good amount. It did come back down a good amount today, though, so that's good. Now let's look at our side poses. Yep, definitely fuller. I can especially see it through the chest. There's a side tricep. Yep. Quads are really starting to come in. I'm starting to get these gnarly feathers in them. I feel like I'm going to be in a good spot. Give it another 10 weeks of dieting hard. My goal here is just to show up as peeled as possible. I'm getting coached by Joseph Percher, and he's been awesome. Really align very well on the side of just fucking cranking the GH, and then he's been super helpful and extremely responsive when it comes to check-ins, all that. So I got to give a big shout out to him. Alrighty. And then let's look at our last two. The most muscular. And then let's look at the abs and thighs. I was doing a vacuumed abs and thighs previously, but per the recommendation of Joe, he told me switch to the oblique sort of crunch down version because it's probably better suited for a bodybuilder. This, for the vacuum version, is probably better for like a classic guy. Alrighty, so now let's get to juicy stuff. So first off, currently 10 weeks out from the Whitney Jones Classic, where I am planning to do light heavyweight bodybuilding. Then if I either win my class or take the overall, I'm planning to do Texas Nationals in December, and then that will be the end of this prep. Currently, let's get to my body weight. So 209.4 yesterday on my check-ins. My weight came down a good amount from yesterday to today. Yesterday was a rest day, came down to 206.2. The lowest weight I've had this prep, I believe, is 201.4. So let's get to everything. Okay, cardio and steps, 13,000 steps a day, 30 minutes. Fasted on the arc trainer with 25 resistance, 6 incline, 5 days a week. For my diet, you can pause the video here if you'd like to just look over everything. the food item is in this column, servings in this column, then calories, protein, carb, fat, fiber is all listed under each meal. So the total for the day is 3,400 calories approximately, roughly 350 grams of protein, roughly 390 grams of carbs, and approximately 30 grams of fat. I think the fat number is probably a little bit inflated. The top round, I tend to trim down a good amount, like so there's zero visible fat. So I'd assume the fat number is a little bit lower, and that's probably going to reflect in the calories as well. But as long as we're making these changes to our food in terms of carbs, fats, all those shit, protein's probably going to stay pretty stagnant, then it's going to keep the ball moving regardless. It's just energy balance at the end of the day. Then rest day diet, again, you can pause here if you'd like. Calories are approximately 600 lower at about 2,800. Protein, roughly 310. Carbs, roughly 300. Fat, roughly 27. And then fiber, roughly 22. If you want, here are all my supplements. Only thing I'd say really sticks out here that I've been liking a lot is taking a higher dose of NAC and then a higher dose of magnesium. So I take two forms of magnesium, magnesium threonate in the morning, which penetrates your blood-brain barrier, so you might notice more cognitive benefits from it. And then magnesium glycinate, I take 280 milligrams with every meal. I just kind of worked up the dose till I found what was fucking up my digestion. Like 350 was where like, oh, okay, yeah, I can't take this. So I backed it down one more to 280 milligrams. That's my sweet spot. So I do that 5 times a day, which comes to a grand total of, let me do the math, 280 times 5, roughly 1,400 milligrams of magnesium a day. I notice I feel super fucking chill, and my blood pressure's been dialed. So I'm gonna stick with that probably year round now. So then PEDs, injectable anabolics, at 840 test sip, 840 equipoise, doing those in daily administrations of 120 milligrams a day, which comes out to roughly 0.88 cc's injected every single day. And then for my total anabolics, that would be 1,680 milligrams. So let's get to the peptides, ancillaries, fat burners, all that other shit. So caffeine, 200 milligrams upon waking. Clenbuterol, 80 micrograms upon waking. Ephedrine, 12.5 milligrams upon waking. Growth hormone, I split up into 3 administrations, AM, post-workout, and PM, 5 IUs. Then I take a Glow Blend, which is 10 milligrams of BPC, 10 milligrams of TB500, and 15 milligrams of GHK copper. I do that before bed with my last GH administration. It's like 0.5 BPC, 0.5 TB, and then 2.5 milligrams of GHK copper. I noticed my joints feel fucking awesome. I was dealing with my knees nagging at me for a while, so I introduced that. I've been putting it sub-Q over my knees for a little bit, and the GHK copper fucking stings. So I started doing it sub-Q in my quads, and that doesn't sting as much, and it gets the job done. Then Melanotan 2, I'm doing 400 micrograms daily. Methylene Blue, 10 milligrams 5 days a week. MOTS-C, 1.5 milligrams every single day. Then retatrutide, 300 micrograms every single day to 2.1 milligrams a week. SLU PP332, 2 milligrams every single day upon waking. I did get injectable SLU though, so I think I'm going to try, it's 1 milligram per milliliter. So I'm going to try doing 1 milligram upon waking, because from what I've heard, the injectable version tends to A, kick in quicker, and B, a little bit stronger in terms of effects. So I'm just curious. And then for T3, 25 micrograms daily upon waking. T4, 100 micrograms right before bed. I do that because I have like a 3-hour gap between my last meal and any other supplements. And then yohimbine, 5 milligrams. And then telmisartan, 40 milligrams, and nebivolol, 5 milligrams. All of these are taken daily. So that's everything in terms of the peptides. I did just put in a big order for a bunch of other shit. I got glutathione, an AD plus, injectable 5-amino 1MQ, injectable SS31, injectable iCar, and then I got the Clo blend instead of Glow, which has KPV added into the mix. I was just interested. This is another anti-inflammatory thing, and especially with pushing the envelope this hard, I want to make sure I'm staying healthy. Oh, also I got oral BPC 157 and TB4 frag, again, just to make sure I'm fucking slamming the anti-inflammatory stuff so I can keep my health in as good of a state as possible, because you're not going to be growing or performing well or probably able to get peeled if you're not healthy. If your organs are shutting down, if your liver is fucked, you're not going to be burning fat. Your body's going to be prioritizing, okay, how the fuck are we staying alive? So then let's get to my split. So I'm doing side delts, back, and arms on Monday. Tuesday, legs. Wednesday, push and arms. Then I am doing Friday, leg pull. Saturday, push and arms. I have a little breakdown of my total weekly volume spread across the week. And then my total week or volume per session. I am really emphasizing doing delts through this prep, and I'm going to keep that as a focus afterwards as well. I'm doing 4 or 5 sets at the start of every session. The prime lateral just fucks me up so bad. That's the only one I'm doing 4 sets of, because I do like 4 sets and like I literally cannot lift my arms out. So a 5th set just seems unnecessary there. Everything's been progressing up still. I'm really satisfied with where training's at. I love this Friday session. It's so fucked up. I do the extreme row, the single arm Rogers row, pull-ups, deficit stiff leg deadlift, seated leg curl, leg extension, and single leg hip press and lunges. I'm just doing as much as I can recover from and still be good coming in the next session in terms of A, getting stronger, and B, not being sore. The only session that's really iffy right now is my Tuesday leg session. My quads are so fucked up from these 3, the Arsenal leg press, the leg extension, and Rogers Bulgarian, that's like, ooh, sometimes it's iffy if I'm going to be good going to the next one. But so far we've been good. Maybe as my food gets lower and recovery gets worse, I might have to decrease the amount of quad volume I do in this session. But as of now, we're still good and progressing. Alrighty. I think that's pretty much everything wrapping up this 10 weeks out prep log. So let me know any questions, comments, concerns, anything you guys got from me, or anything you'd want me to talk about in the next one. I'm going to start this as a weekly series documenting my progress, check-ins, everything, PEDs. Just want to stay extremely transparent. I'm going to be doing this also until the off season, so you guys can get a glance into what I am doing. And I'm not a medical doctor, but just straight up what it takes. My goal is to be an open or 212 bodybuilder and just get big as a house. I eventually, if not a pro by then, would like to compete as a super heavyweight bodybuilder. So it takes pushing the envelope in terms of the anabolics and growth hormone. I want to make sure I'm doing everything in terms of blood work, ancillaries. Some of these peptides can also help with improving your health. I've seen that with retatrutide especially. It cut my LDL like fucking in half, and my CRP came down a lot more from what it typically is as well. I'm interested to see the effects of the glutathione, NAD+, and 5-MeO-1-MQ, also the oral BPC and all that other shit, because I've seen those can have anti-inflammatory effects as well. I just want to see how that reflects in my blood work and how I overall feel. I got a fuck ton, so I'm going to be running that as a long-term experiment. I roughly have a 200-day supply of each of those, so I'll be documenting the results going forward. All right, take care, everybody.